Hey guys, MG Decks for Fun here. We're at week 2 of weekly news with MG Decks for Fun, or MTG Weekly News, whatever you want to call it. Today is August 9th, so we have quite a few things today, a lot of really fun things, and a lot of spoilers. There's been a lot of spoilers. So, congratulations to Steve Locke for winning GP Minnesota in the 15 rounds of Swiss. He went undefeated with his mono-black zombie deck. And the top 8 deck lists from the Pro Tour Hour of Devastation, most of them were the mono-red deck, Ramanap Red, but only one of the top 8 decks in this tournament were Ramanap Red, and that was Matt S's. I don't know how to say his last name, and I don't want to butcher it. So, the top 8 decks were Steve Locke with mono-black zombies, Daniel Weiser with black-green Constrictor, Ray Huang with Mardu Vehicles, Huang, Nathan Leatherman's Black-Red Control, Corey B's Black-Green Constrictor, Robert Castro's Mardu Vehicles, and Brad Nelson's Black-Green Constrictor, and like I said before, Matt S's Ramanap Red. So, almost all of the decks had black in them, with the exception of the one Ramanap Red. It's pretty amazing how fast it changes. So, MTG Arena, Magic the Gathering on Twitter, August 3rd, the digital game that we're working on has a real name now, Magic the Gathering Arena. It just has a picture of the like planar symbol, or the Magic the Gathering symbol. It's the same symbol as their profile picture on Twitter, and it says Magic the Gathering Arena. So they've been working on this game for a while, and they haven't had a name for it until now. Now they have a name for it, which is Magic the Gathering Arena, and you have to pay attention to Twitch on September 7th to learn how to join the closed beta for Magic the Gathering Arena. A lot of spoilers right now. We now know that the 4 tribes for the Commander 2017 are, God, having a brain fart. Cats, tribal cats, Mardu vampires, which is black, red, white, 5-color dragons, and Grixis wizards. So, like I said before, there's a lot of spoilers. I post most of them on my Twitter, so if you haven't followed me on Twitter at MTGDecks4Fun, you might want to do that because you would have seen these before the video came out. So, I guess we can just go right through some of the spoilers now. So, the first spoiler that caught my eye was it was a dragon, and Scion of the Ur Dragon is the Ur Dragon. The Scion of the Ur Dragon is exactly what he says. But now the Ur Dragon is a real creature. It's a 10/10 for 1 of each color and 4 colors, so a total of 9. And he has Eminence. As long as the Ur Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. He has Flying, obviously, and whenever 1 or more dragons you control attacks, draw that many cards, then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So that's pretty cool. And the next spoiler is Taigam Ojutai Master. He is a 3/4 for 4, a blue, white, and 2 colorless, legendary human monk. Instant sorceries and dragon spells you control can't be countered by spells or abilities. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, if Taigam Ojutai Master attack this turn, that spell gains Rebound, which Rebound is you exile the spell as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast that card from exile without paying its mana cost. Then we have a colorless dragon, although his color identity is 5 colors because one of his abilities requires all 5 colors. So he's a 6/6, he's a 4/4 for 6, just plain old 6 any color, generic I think is what it's called now. Legendary artifact creature dragon. With Flying, whenever you cast a spell, put a 1/1 counter on Ramos Dragon Engine for each of that spell's colors. And then you remove 5 +1/+1 counters from Ramos and add 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, and 2 green to your mana pool, and you can activate this ability only once each turn. And then Wasatora Nikoru Queen, I think is how you say it. It's a 5/4 legendary creature cat dragon. It costs a green, a red, and a black, and 2 colorless with flying and trample. Whenever she attacks, whenever she deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. If that player can't, you create a 3/3 black, red, and green cat dragon creature token with flying. And this is literally the most adorable token I've ever seen in my life. Who doesn't like cats and who doesn't like dragons? I mean, come on. And then we move on to Okagachi, Vengeful Kami. So going back to Kamigawa block, kind of, he's a spirit. He's a dragon spirit. He's a 6/6 for 1 of every color and 1 colorless legendary creature dragon spirit with flying and trample. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, if that player attacked you during his or her last turn, exile target non-land permanent that player controls. And then we're going to move on to cat spoilers now. We have Arabo, Roar of the World. He's a legendary creature, cat avatar. He's a 5/5 for a green, a white, and 3 colorless with eminence. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if Arabo, Roar of the World is in your command zone or on the battlefield, another target cat you control gets +3/+3 until end of turn. And whenever another cat you control attacks, you may pay a green, a white, and a colorless. If you do, it gains trample and gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. And then the next one we have is a 3/3 for 4, 2 white, 2 colorless, Balan, Wandering Knight, however you want to say it. Legendary creature, cat knight. He has first strike. When he has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment are attached to him, and then you can pay a white and a colorless and attach all equipment you control to him. That's really good, and Voltron's looking really good. Although I still like Kemba a lot, because you get to make a lot of cats. And now we have Hungry Lynx. It's kind of like a cat lord, I guess, because it gives all cats protection from rats. At the beginning of your end step, it's a 2/2 for a green and a colorless. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent creates a 1/1 black rat creature token with Death Touch. Whenever a rat dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each cat you control. That is ridiculous. And then another spoiler is Traverse the Outlands. It's a 5-drop sorcery, a green and 4 colorless. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Put those cards into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. That is really good. So we have a foreign card here. Well, the only picture I could find is in foreign. It has a description as to what it actually does, which is it's a 1-drop equipment that equips for 2. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of. I don't know. It doesn't say. Oh wait. No, it's okay. So I don't speak German and I can't translate German, but it's the name of the card in German is right after copy in German, which is, I think, Kopie. So I'm assuming it's whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of the axe. It doesn't have a name either because people haven't translated it yet. But yeah, that's what that does. And then we have Stalking Leonin. It's a 3/3 for 3, a white and 2 colorless. Whenever Stalking Leonin enters the battlefield, secretly choose an opponent. Reveal the player you choose, exile target creature that's attacking you, if it's controlled by the chosen player. Activate this ability only once. Now, Miri is back. There was a white Miri, there was a black Miri, and there was a green Miri. And now there's a white-green Miri. Miri, Weatherlight Duelist. It's a 3/2 for a white, a green, and a colorless. Legendary cat warrior. First strike. Whenever Miri Weatherlight Duelist attacks, each opponent can't block with more than 1 creature this combat. And as long as Miri Weatherlight Duelist is tapped, no more than 1 creature can attack you each combat. So it's kind of... It's pretty good. It's looking really good. And then... Nazhan, revered bladesmith. I can't speak today, sorry. It is a 5/4 for 6, a white, a green, and 4 colorless. Whenever Nazan enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it. If you reveal a card named Hammer of Nazan this way, put it into the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card in your hand and shuffle your library. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you may tap target creature defending player controls. So that's pretty good. And then his Hammer of Nazan, is a legendary artifact equipment. It's a 4-drop equipment, and equip cost is 4. Whenever Hammer of Nazan or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. An equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has indestructible. So the next card is ridiculous. So it's Alms Collector. It is a 3/4 for a white and 3 colorless cat cleric. Flash. If an opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead you and that player each draw a card. That card is so good. Somebody has Consecrated Sphinx or something like that. Instead of them drawing 2, you both get to draw 1. So it's crazy good. And then we have Bloodline Necromancer. So Bloodline Necromancer, I don't know if it's going to be in the Wizard deck or the Vampire deck, or maybe in both, because it is a Vampire Wizard. So it's a 3/2 for 5, a black and 4 colorless Vampire Wizard with lifelink. Whenever Bloodline Necromancer enters the battlefield, you may return target Vampire or Wizard creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's hard to know which one it's going to be in. And then the next card we have is Herald's Horn. When Herald's Horn enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. At the beginning of your upkeep, you reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may put it into your hand. So that's really good. I'm hoping that's going to be in all of the decks, but I don't think it is. I think it's only going to be probably in 1 or 2 of them, and the other ones are just going to suck. Suffer, sorry. Summon the Tribe. It is a 7-drop instant. 2 green, 5 colorless. Whenever, choose a creature type. Reveal the top cards of your library until you reveal X creatures of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of the chosen type, and then place them into the battlefield. Shuffle the other revealed cards into your library. That's a little confusing, but I don't know why it says X. Oh, X. Okay, never mind. So you reveal top X cards of your library, or you reveal top cards of your library until you reveal X creatures of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of the chosen type. Okay, so if you have 5 cats on the battlefield, you reveal until you hit 5 cats, and you put them in the battlefield. And then you shuffle the other cards in your library. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. And then Path of Ancestry. Path of Ancestry enters the battlefield tapped. You may tap it to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, you scry 1. So that land is going to be really good. I'm assuming it's going to be in all the decks like the command tower is, but I don't know for sure. So the next card we have, this is probably going to be one of the most expensive cards in the commander decks, because there's already so many combos with it that people are coming up with. The only one that I can think of off the top of my head is the Locust God. So the Locust God says, whenever you draw a card, you put a 1/1 red and blue insect creature with flying and haste. And Kindred Discovery is a 5-drop enchantment. It's 2 blue and 3 colorless. As Kindred Discovery enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. So you would choose insect in this case, and whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield, or whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, you draw a card. So you get unlimited insects as soon as it triggers for the first time. That's a little ridiculous. And I like the flavor text, a few things are truly lost at sea. So the next card we have is another cat. It's a 3/5 for 5, a green and 4 colorless cat warrior with reach. Whenever Quasali Slingers or another cat enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's really good. So I think that one's going to be relatively expensive too, because it's just like the 3-drop enchantment that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy an artifact or enchantment. It's only with cats, but if you're going to be playing cats anyway, why not? Not to mention it's a 3/5 for 5 that you get to destroy an artifact or enchantment when it comes into play, and it has reach. So the next card we have is Territorial Hellkite. It is a 6/5 for 4, 2 red and 2 colorless, flying haste. At the beginning of your combat, on your turn, choose an opponent at random. That Territorial Hellkite didn't attack during your last combat. Territorial Hellkite attacks that player this combat if able. If you can't choose an opponent this way, tap it. That's alright. It's a 6/5 for 4. So, another card that's really good, it's literally Karmic Justice on a dragon. So, Scale Lord Reckoner is a 4/4 for 5, 2 white and 3 colorless, with flying. Whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of spell or ability an opponent controls, destroy a target non-land permanent that player controls. So it's actually a little bit better than Karmic Justice, because Karmic Justice is whenever a permanent's destroyed, you can destroy a permanent. This is just whenever a dragon becomes the target of a spell or ability your opponent controls. That's crazy. And then Boneyard Scourge is a 4/3 for 4 zombie dragon with flying. Whenever a dragon you control dies while Boneyard Scourge is in your graveyard, you may pay a black and a colorless. If you do, return Boneyard Scourge from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty good. Death arrives on tattered wings and stolen bones. The next card we have is Fortunate Few. It is 2 white and 3 colorless. It's a sorcery. Choose a non-land permanent you don't control, then each player chooses a non-land permanent he or she doesn't control that hasn't been chosen this way. Destroy all other non-land permanents. I really like the art on that. It's got a goat and a goblin, and I think that's an elf or a human, I can't really tell. And then another really good card is Mirror of the Forebears. So it's a 2-drop artifact. As Mirror of the Forebears enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. You pay 1 until end of turn. Mirror of the Forebears becomes a copy of target creature you control of the chosen type, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So the same with that land, or not the land, the other card that I was talking about. I bet you this one's only going to be in 1 or 2 of the decks, and the rest of them aren't going to have it. So the 2 vampire legends that were revealed, well, actually, yeah, all 3 of them, sorry. So the first one is Lycia, Sanguine Tribune. It is a 4/4 for a black, a white, a red, and 5 colorless vampire soldier. Lycia costs 1 less for each 1 life you've gained this turn. First strike, lifelink, pay 5 life, put 3 +1/+1 counters on Lycia. Activate this ability only on your turn and only once each turn. So, to be completely honest, that vampire is incredibly mediocre. I just don't see it being the chosen legendary creature out of all of the vampires that are here, especially when you get to meet Mr. Markov. So the second one is Mathis, Fiend Seeker. It is a 3/3 for a red, a white, and a black legendary creature. It's just a vampire. It has Menace. At the beginning of your end step, put a bounty counter on target creature an opponent controls for as long as that creature has a bounty counter on it. It has, when this creature dies, each opponent draws a card and gains 2 life. I'm sorry this is a little bit longer episode, but I figure instead of making a separate video on spoilers, I just put it all in one video. So the big legend, the one that I think most people are going to use, is Edgar Markov. So he's a 4/4 for a black, a white, and a red, and 3 colorless. So he costs 6, which is a little bit. But Eminence. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if Edgar Markov is in the command zone or on the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token. He has first strike and haste, and whenever Edgar Markov attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. So like I said, I think that's definitely going to be the legend that people choose to use, because it is ridiculously good. So the next card we're going to go over is Bloodstone Steward. It is a 4/4 for a red, and 2 colorless vampire knight. It has flying, and commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and have haste. So it's a lord for commanders. Crimson Honor Guard is a 4/5 for 5, 2 red, and 3 colorless vampire knight. With Trample, at the beginning of each player's end step, Crimson Honor Guard deals 4 damage to that player unless he or she controls a commander. So that's pretty good. Especially when the deck has white, black, and red, so there's plenty of removal, which means most of the time they probably won't have their commander. And Disrupt Decorum, it's a 4-drop sorcery, 2 red and 2 colorless. Goad all creatures you don't control. Until your next turn, those creatures attack each combat if able, and attack a player other than you if able. Dinner and politics don't mix. Amen to that. Teferi's Protection. It is a 3-drop instant for white and 2 colorless. Until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you have protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. While they're phased out, they are treated as though they don't exist. They phase in before you untap during your untap step, and then you exile Teferi's Protection. That's pretty good. So you can literally wipe the whole board, and then in response to Teferi's Protection, and you get to keep all of your stuff. So there's 5 curses, 1 for each color. There's Curse of Vitality, which is a 3-drop white. It's a white and 2 colorless, or a curse, enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, you gain 2 life. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. And then Curse of Verbosity is a 3-drop curse. It's a blue and 2 colorless, enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, draw a card. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Oh, the flavor text on the white one is Good Health beckons many a vigorous follower. And the flavor text on the blue one is Idle Chatter beckons many an attentive ear. And then we have Curse of Disturbance. It's a 3-drop, obviously, black and 2 colorless. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Sounds of Life beckon many a restless soul. And then the red curse is a 1-drop. It just costs 1 red. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a colorless artifact token named Gold. It has sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Juggling coins beckon many an eager hand. And then Curse of the Bounty. It's a 2-drop. It's a green and a colorless. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, untap all non-land permanents you control. Each opponent attacking that player untaps all non-land permanents he or she controls. So that's really good. So it's the same guy on all 5 of these cards, and I is it just somebody that Wizards made up, or I can't figure it out. Anyways, the last 2 cards we have New Blood. New Blood is a 4-drop sorcery, 2 black and 2 colorless. It's got a gorgeous artwork with Olivia right there. It looks like she's about to rip somebody's neck. In addition to cast New Blood, tap and untap vampire you control. Gain control of target creature, change the text of that creature by replacing all instances of 1 creature type with vampire. Now isn't that better? Olivia Voldaren. And then the last card we have is Kindred Charge. It is a 6-drop sorcery, 2 red and 4 colorless. Choose a creature type. For each creature you control of the chosen type, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of your next end step. For goblins, quantity is quality. So that's all we have so far for Commander 2017 spoilers. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It really helps me out. Follow me on Twitter at MTGDecks4Fun, on Facebook, MTGDecks4Fun, and check me out on MTG Amino, which is a really neat app on your phone where it's just all Magic players. And obviously, I'm MTGDecks4Fun on MTG Amino. And subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. Thank you guys, and I will see you next week.